Initium. And this to me is one of the coolest record covers in all of existence. That is one of the coolest pictures in all of existence. It's in pretty tight condition, except for all these thumbprints I'm putting on it right now. I'll never sell this record ever in the history of ever. So, and like I said, there are so many people out there that have like way cooler collections than I do. But I guess what makes this record so like great, or what this one in particular is so great, is the story that is attached to it. And so I'm walking through, I see this record, and I go to the record store clerk. And for those of you who are old enough to remember, and this excludes Mr. Jim, because Mr. Jim Catania, he owned, okay, so first of all, Mr. Jim owned a bunch of different record stores later on. I don't know, Jim, I know you used to work for the Wiz too, right? You used to work for the Wizard, Nobody Beats the Wiz guy. Or no. Who'd you work for? Crazy Eddie's. Mr. Jim used to work for Crazy Eddie's in the city. You like that I know that, Mr. Jim. You told me that a long time ago, actually. But he used to own a shop called Dinosaur Records. He had another place. Mr. Jim's House of Video was before Dinosaur Records. Mr. Jim is the nicest record store clerk, guy, whatever you want to call it, owner in the world. So this excludes you, Mr. Jim, from the story I'm about to say. Most record store clerks in like little teeny record store shops are dicks, or they can be dicks. They can be so pretentious and they just know more than you and fuck you. And I'm around records all the time, so I'm the man. Don't try to talk to me about records. I don't want to hear your record talking bullshit. And and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, it's like you walk in there and you like want to like kind of either talk shop, or, if you know something, you want to talk about how you know something, yada, yada, yada. So I should not put this seltzer near the records. Okay, let's go down here. So I'm in the store, I catch this Initium hanging on the wall, and the, it says Plan 9 pressing, black vinyl. So it's not, I don't know if it's a first pressing or not. And again, okay, somebody here who's a collector, hardcore collector, what is an Initium going for these days? I know that they definitely go for over $100, or they can go for over $100. But you could probably get some pretty good coin for a first pressing Initium. Especially, I believe later they were pressed up by Caroline Records, but this was before Caroline. This just says Plan 9 on it, right? So it says PL9-04. So yeah, I don't know. But it is definitely a really, really old record here. And I don't remember what the matrix numbers were for it, but and we have a member of the band in the chat right now, Mr. Damien. I'm talking about how I came to acquire this Samhain Initium. Damien, aka Pete Marshall, is the man also, and after playing with Glenn and the guys, he played with Iggy Pop for years, and played on some really cool albums and helped write some really cool songs and whatnot. And yeah, just a shout out to Pete, who I also chatted with many years ago. And yeah, it was a really good conversation. So I'm in the store and I go up to the clerk and I go, this is probably like, I think, you have this mispriced, or like, do you like, he was selling it. He was selling it for $50. And I just was kind of like, I was like, I have a feeling that's like, you're really under, because I'm trying to like, talk to the record store clerk guy for whatever reason. And he's just kind of looking at me like I'm a dweeb, and like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I kind of, not that I do, but like I just know that this record in the right market is going to go for a lot of money. And I say, you have that underpriced, that record's underpriced. And he was really rude to me, really like sort of like buzz off guy, like because he thought I was just like want to make conversation. He didn't think I was going to buy it. It was $49.99. It was $50 the record. And so we're trading back and forth, and he's just sort of like, he's continuing to be a dick. And so finally I go, all right, man, I'm going to buy that record. And he does that typical record store clerk thing, like of like, I got to spite you now. He's like, sorry, it's being held. It's on hold. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll pay, I'll tell you what. I'll pay you $60 for it. I'll pay you $70 for it. I think I topped out at like $80, which was all I had on me at the time in cash. and I was almost positive that this record could go for over $100, and the guy was refusing to sell it to me, and this made me really mad. So I walk out of the store. I was meeting a friend over a production meeting, actually, for this like project that never materialized. And I go to this guy and I go, I believe his name was Steve, and I go, Steve, I want you, here's $50. I want you to go into Rocket Records over here. I want you to buy this Sam Hain record for me. And I show him a picture of it on my phone. I look it up on the internet. He goes in there, buys the record. The guy sells him the record. And I'm sure in his record store, sort of karmatic, like he's like, ha ha ha, little does that peon know that I'm actually selling the very record that he was trying to offer me more money for than what I had it listed at. And Steve comes out with the record, gives me the record. I go back to the display window, giant pane of glass. I hold up the record and I just go, fuck you, motherfucker, I got the record. And I take it home. I looked at the matrix numbers, and it indeed was a first pressing Plan 9 Initium on black vinyl. And I brought it to Steve Zing. Steve Zing signed it, and I said, Steve, will you do a little drawing? And he did. And I gotta get everybody else to sign this. You too, Pete. You should sign this for me someday. It's been far too long. I'll buy you another 6-pack, and we'll have another conversation. How about that? So yeah, I thought that was really fun, and you know, then later on, I ended up, I went on tour with this band, who will remain to me someday. Oh shit, it's been far too long. Okay, I went on tour with this band who will remain nameless. But I went on tour with them, and we were in Europe, and once again, we're in a record store, right? And I do my thing where I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta find, because you know, it's like when you're in a record store, it's like that's probably the closest you're gonna come to finding some original vinyl, right? You're gonna find, what's up, Aaron, aka the Fiend Crypt? Aaron is a really knowledgeable fiend. Hello, Rue, how are you? What's going on, John? How are you? What's up, guys? Good to see you here. So I'm in Europe. I'm touring with this band who remain nameless. We're in Ulm, Germany, and like there's like a pub, and then above the pub is a record store. And this isn't just any record store. It's like I've never seen. You know, usually you go into a record store and you see a lot of very common records. You don't see a lot of heavy metal, punk. Just that stuff is harder to come by. You know what I mean? But this store had everything. You know what? It wasn't a pub below. It was like a thrift shop below, and it was a record store above. This shop had everything, man. They had like every Metallica record, everything you can possibly imagine. So I'm searching. You know what I was really looking for? I was hoping, because they had so much metal. I'm like, man, what if they have Lucifuge? Danzig 2, Lucifuge on metal. That record goes for a lot of money. I would love to friggin' just own it, just to own it. I didn't find Lucifuge, but I did find this. This is not, well, this is a first pressing, but it's a first European pressing, so I don't know what the difference is. And and I paid 20 euros for it, which I believe is quite a steal. Again, anybody who is a record collector, tell me I am wrong. There's the guys. There's the band right there. Tell me I'm wrong if this is not a steal. I believe it is. And, yeah, it says London on the back. And I paid 20 euros for it. And the vinyl is super flimsy. It's a super flimsy vinyl. Like, I feel like it could break. I feel like it's a potato chip that would crack under pressure. And I was very scared bringing it across the pond back from Europe. Yeah, see right here. Danzig. That was the label on the thing. Danzig, same, and it was... Oh, sorry, it was 22 euros. I've been saying for 8 years that it was 20 euros. It was not. It was 22 euros. So, can't get this thing back in. So yeah, and so I've never really been a collector in that sort of way. Like, I'm never like looking to drop serious coin and find crazy records. But you know, I still like to own copies of records that I really appreciate. Tanner, what's up, buddy? Wow, $100. Holy crap! So 22 euros was a good get. That's great to know. Good to know. Wow. Hey, Jeremy, how are you, man? Hope you're well. Wow, really $100 for Danzig European first press. That's pretty cool. Wait, Tanner, one other question. How much would this go for? How much is this guy going for? Samhain first press, Plan 9 first press. Answer in the comments. What's the market on this? I'm never going to sell. It's signed by Steve Zing on the back. It's like a little bat figure. I don't know if that devalues it, but Steve is the man, and I wanted to know. So, frick. Okay. And then these records are more common. Actually, this record is probably, you know, at the time I bought it new, but I bet, oh my God, my Dead Mint first press, 150. Okay, so I paid $50 for that, Tanner. That's probably a pretty good deal. Wow, good to know. I'm never gonna sell that, by the way, because the story is too great. It's a great fucking story. I'm never gonna sell it because I love the story so much, you know. So this is Death Red Saboa, and I bought this. This was like when Danzig had not put out, this was 2010, Danzig had not put out a record in like 6 years. The last record was Circle of Snakes. Not that great of a record. This was considered the true return to that classic Danzig style from the first 4 records. And this is red vinyl. Does anybody know how much this goes for? This is a red vinyl, Death Red. I like a lot of the songs on this. I love the title. Death Red Moon is a great song. Oh, it's like translucent, right? It's so beautiful. Treasures, right? Yeah, so I don't know how much this goes for now, but doing excellent. I think we met back in 2012. I went under the name Zombie during the Blitzkid tour. Hi, Jeremy. Yes, Jeremy, I'm sure we did meet. If I looked at your profile picture, I might recognize you. Do you remember what stop on the Blitzkid tour that was? What's up, Joe Stoker? Joe is the drummer of the Undead. Wow, we're getting a lot of Misfits adjunct people in here tonight. Oh shit, I'm totally bunching this up. That sucks. Okay, so this is only 1,000 copies of red vinyl, and it's 10 years old now. So I'm sure that's got to be worth something. Wait, shut up, Jeff. Death Red and red is a solid $100. That's insane. And I just bought it just cause. Man, I really should like go back to buying records when they come out. Okay, here's another one, guys. Okay, tell me about this. Anybody? Tanner, maybe you know. Jeff, maybe you know. So this is Walk Among Us. This came out. This is a pressing from 2015, I think. And it's kind of a weenie pressing. I think Hot Topic put it out, but I didn't own it on vinyl. And this was a very limited pressing. It's got all the cool pictures on it. How do I open? You know how like the record sleeve like splits and you're never sure which side to open and you're afraid you're gonna mess it up? Yes. Okay, so this is a pink. This is like a pink white marble. Does anybody know? What how much this goes for? I believe only 1,000 of these were pressed up too. Does anybody know? These have actually jumped up. Seen 2 sell for $85. Wow, $85 for this? I paid like nothing. Not nothing. I think I paid $15 for this. I just bought it on a whim because I didn't own it, and I was like, that's a cool color to own it in. And like I said, very casual owner of certain things, vinyls and stuff. And, you know, by the way, anybody, share this. Share this on your page, please. Please share. We want to share it up. Share it up. Okay, let's put that over there. San Diego, and I was interviewed that night. I'm close friends with JV from Darrow Chemical Company. Joe Vasta, a.k.a. JV, is a wonderful musician and guitar player, and had so much fun going on tour with him. And yeah, it was a really fun tour. And Jeremy, I'll check out your profile after this, and I'll see if I can like put the name to the face. So next is Static Age. This is like a run of the mill Static Age. I just bought it. It was $10. It was on sale. And like I said, I didn't own Static Age. I thought it was kind of like embarrassing to like love the band that I love so much and not own Static Age on vinyl. And it's just a black vinyl. It's nothing like whatever. It's just whatever. It's in very good condition. I played it a few times. It does not have the 3 bonus tracks. Oh yes, it does. It has She, Spinal Remains, and In the Doorway. Okay, yeah, so it does. And this is just so cool, man. This artwork was done by Tom Begowitz at Caroline Records, and he did a phenomenal job. And yeah, that's him. He wrote the foreword right here. I interviewed Tom years ago. Showed me some really, really cool shit. So there's that. That's another one that I have. Don't worry, guys. This is just the first section. We're going to get into the main meat of the broadcast. I just figured this would be really fun. Here's just a run-of-the-mill. I paid $12 for this. Just a legacy. Probably like the billionth pressing legacy. Just cool to have. I love the legacy mixes. Hello, Lorenzo from Ferrara, Italy. I hope you're doing safe out there in Italy, man. Be well. What's the climate over there? And yeah, that's just a really cool picture of Glenn right there. Hello, Adam. I love this artwork of Glenn, and it's done by Sean J. Wyatt, Barrett. And there's a Jerry and a Doyle version as well, besides Glenn somewhere. And this one has like a shiny silver lettering, and I don't think. And then, you know, of course, the new Misfits. Russ, hello from Marquette, man. Hey, what's up? Nice to see you. So yeah, they use this font for all like the legacy shows and for the Reformed Misfits. And you know, it kind of kills me because like the Misfits are a very artistic band, as we've discussed many times. And so, oh no, that's bad. Hold on, we have an emergency. Oh my goodness, what a crime. I'm just going to keep these in my lap. John, hello John. Do I know who the artist is? I do know who the artist is, John. By the way, John does incredible Misfits. He did some Misfits Simpsons artwork that is just phenomenal. And you should check it out on his page. John, post your page in the comments and share this link. Who did this? Who did the legacy art? It was Sean J. Wyatt or Verrett, something like that. So those are those. And then, that's the Misfits related stuff. Does this fit down here where it's not going to get destroyed because I'm an idiot? Yeah, it does. Okay, I'll keep that there. Before we get to 7 inches, I just wanted to quickly do a plug for some I heard you had some cool OG shirts made by Glenn. Show them off. Tanner, I did that in the last episode. You missed the last episode, but just because you're requesting it, I'm sorry for repeating this, guys. For a full breakdown of what these shirts are and how I got them, please watch the previous episode and watch it on YouTube. Matter of fact, I'm going to link that right now, just so you have it. If you want a full breakdown of what I'm about to show at Tanner's request, come on, Tanner, you got to stay on top of this stuff. Hold on one second. Here you go. That's the full breakdown. I just posted it in the comments. So here are my... Okay, this is really like probably the most valuable thing I own. And it's really, I don't know how truly valuable it is. I thought it was more valuable than it actually is, but they're still really cool. So that's by Vampirella. The original Glenn Danzig. This is made by Glenn. And the process of how he made it is in that previous episode. And notice like the fade. He does the fade from the yellow to the red. I consider this art. I need to get this framed. I'll never sell these ever, no matter what kind of coin I could probably fetch for them. Next up is what I'm told is exceedingly rare. But again, probably not worth much because they're not in the best condition. This is a Beware, the Misfits Beware shirt right there. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. I snagged this one. I had a choice of snagging a lot of them. I snagged this one because it had the Misfits on it. But Glenn used to print a lot of stuff. He did Count Chocula, all sorts of stuff. Quisp cereal. And lastly, probably my favorite, probably the maybe not the rarest, but definitely the coolest. This is the Night of Living Dead with the hand-colored orange. I like to think that Glenn hand-colored this himself in orange. It could have been someone else. I say it's Glenn. I just say it's Glenn just because I want to, because I own this. And yeah, it's just fucking hand-colored Night of the Living Dead shirt. And they are super awesome, and I have to get them framed. And I have not, and that is annoying that I have not done that. Okay, Tanner, there you go. Just because I'm a nice guy. Okay, so back to the vinyl. So these are two non-Misfits vinyls, but I'm just going to plug them anyway because I love these artists. Thanks, Russ. The first one is this was done this is from Stefan from No Balls Records, and this is Mr. Underhill plus Nimvind, and the record. I'm showing this to you because like the packaging is so cool. It's very Misfits oriented, cool, and you can't really tell it, but this is actually like an X-ray. Can you see that through there? Can you guys see the lungs and the ribs? It's just sort of translucent, and then it's a green record, lime. I'd say it's like a lime green in there, and it's just a really special record to me about from a band that I really love. Horror punk band, I guess you would call them, and they're just fucking great, man. Well, Mr. Underhill is the precursor to Nimvind. Nimvind calls himself Nimvind, but he's also this band is Mr. Underhill, and they're three brothers, so they're almost like it's kind of like the same template as like Calabrese, except they're up in Vancouver, Canada. And I've worked with Nimvind on several projects. He's done he's contributed music to the soundtrack of my feature-length film Romeo's Distress, which I will also put in if you are interested about my other work, my non-Misfits. Hold on. Aim my camera down a bit. Okay. I tried. Romeo's Distress. What's up, Bob? Bob Bloodshed, father of Rob Bloodshed, is in the house. How you doing, man? Hope you guys are safe. Hope you and Rob are safe. Not getting a full view of the record. Okay, thank you for telling me, Rue. So this is a full. How about now? Can you see the full? That's the full record right there. How about this? Now you can see it. And yeah, I don't know how I would describe. Nimvind other than he just fucking rocks. You know what Nimvind is? Nimvind is like David Bowie. I'm glad to hear that, Bob. Nimvind is like David Bowie writing Christian death songs. That's who Nimvind is. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is a band I've worked with as well, and they've also contributed a song on the soundtrack. This just came out. This is Wolfface. Shout out to Michael J. Wolf. I was supposed to, right before this whole COVID-19 thing happened, I was supposed to fly down to meet up with Nimvind and possibly Mr. Jim as well. I was going to meet up with him, and I was going to shoot a music video for them, a commercial for Liquid Death Mountain Water. It may still happen. This is a great fucking band. Look at that gold foil. This was put out by Gunner Records. They're label mates with the Crypt Keeper 5, another amazing band. If you don't know the Crypt Keeper 5, check them out. And this is on what's known as, what's the vinyl color is, oh yeah, this is gorgeous. Look at that. It's red and orange. I forgot. Oh, this is a blood moon red. That's what they called it, blood moon red. And that's the fun about collecting different colored vinyl, you know? It's like just there's something about the color of the vinyl, and from my understanding, colored vinyl doesn't sound as, let's say, taste. It doesn't sound as good as black vinyl, and it's the same with picture disc. Picture discs do not sound as good as just straight black vinyl. I don't know why that is. Somebody out there with the science, maybe you guys know better than me. But yeah, this is a sweet. Oh, it's by Say 10 Records, right? That's what it is. Say 10 Records. This is a great album. Just came out. Go check out Wolfface. They're called Wolfface, and their whole gimmick is that they are a that is Michael J. Wolf from Teen Wolf, right there, wearing the Beavers thing, and they play punk rock. They are influenced by the Misfits a little bit, more so No Bunny. And if you don't know No Bunny, so back in Misfit Central days, for anybody out there who used to be on the Misfit Central board with me, every once in a while there'd be a post about non-Misfits music, and what does everybody listen to? And that's how we would kind of discover new shit before Spotify, right? And one of those discoveries was from this guy Kyle, who was a moderator on there, and it was, ta-da, No Bunny. Okay, I'm gonna open this up. It's such a pain in the ass. I like to keep the little sticker on, but I'm opening this up. This was for Record Store Day from Almost 10 Records. It's one of the most prized records. I know a guy that presses records in Terrytown. That's really cool. Adam, are you from Westchester? Because I'm over in White Plains. That's pretty funny. This was the re-release of a classic record by No Bunny called Love Visions. And so for this re-release, he redid his 12-track LP as 6 7-inch singles. So it's a singles box set of the album. It's just a phenomenal packaging. You should feel the heft of this. I paid $35 for it. I think it goes for upwards of $200 now. I'm not sure. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to the Misfits stuff again in a minute. It came with this. This was part of a contest, and this record apparently is super duper rare. I don't know how much it goes for, but it goes for a lot. And this is an oral history of No Bunny. Great. And then here are the... Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This came with so much cool shit. Look at this. This is just a drawing that No Bunny did for me. All right, you guys don't really give a shit about No Bunny, but you should give a shit about No Bunny because he's so... Oh, this is a poster. I'm not going to unfold that now. And it came with... Look at these. I don't think it came with these buttons. I think I put them in there because I didn't want them to get lost. No Bunny stickers. Here's the cool part, and I couldn't take out the stickers. No Bunny who's in this documentary, he's also a big Misfits fan, so he did these. I mean, they really went all out with this release, man. It's so cool. And then look, he has, look at all these gorgeous records, man. And it's a pain in the ass to listen to this song, but it's just such a cool idea. So that's the entire album redone as a 7-inch box set. And it's just sexy as fuck. What can I say? All right, now let's go back to Misfits Land, actually, because I have something else that's Misfits. Probably you're not going to think it's that cool. Tanner, I don't know if you're still listening. I'm about to share a bunch of stuff that probably will make you mad because you're just like, it's not real. Whatever. Okay, that's going to fall. All right, put this. This is annoying. Trying to find safe places for records, right? Okay. So I did not buy any of these. I inherited these from somebody. I don't believe in supporting bootleg records for bands. I think it sucks. I want bands to get paid, but still, nonetheless, they're cool to fucking look at. So these are my Misfits 7-inch bootlegs that I have. And they're great. They're great because, if you're a diehard fan and you want to try and, have that experience of listening, to the band the way that people listen to the band when they first discovered the band in the 80s. I mean, this is like the cool way to do it, So here's an Evil Live, and these are redone really well. So if you just want to study something and not pay, I don't know, how much does an Evil Live with this cover go for? Probably $1,000 or something, $700, $800. But if you just want to own the art and look at it, and just look at how cool, I mean, this was done pre-Photoshop, man. There's no Photoshop. You got to do the layout. And this is done in a basement. This is not done, why am I holding it up here? I should hold it up here, right? Yeah, okay, never mind. This is not done I keep thinking this is the camera. That's the camera. This is done in Glenn's basement somewhere. You know what I mean? This one's called Back with a Bang. It has Last Caress studio mix, and on the back is Who Killed Marilyn, Devil Lock, Devil's Whorehouse. And just the art is so cool, man. I just love everything that is. This one's really cool. I like this one a lot. I love the Jerry Only. It's on Plan 69 Records right there. And it's called Evil Is As Evil Does. Now, the original pressings of these bootlegs, Misfits vinyl is so fucking valuable. It's like gold, man. Even the original bootlegs go for a lot of money. I don't know anything about the original Misfits bootleg market, but for instance, I know that 25 years ago, 30 years ago, a bootleg Misfits Beware 10-inch was Beware and 10-inch could go for $300, and that's in like $1991 because that's how rare. They only did one pressing of Beware in 1980, and then it was heavily bootlegged because it had the one track that neither, it had a new track that the previous 7 inches didn't have. It had Last Caress, which Bobby Steele claims was his idea. Okay. This is interesting. This is the only record we have, or one of the only records we have, of the live 79 incarnation horror business Misfits, right? This is live at the Perfect Crime. I'm pretty sure I know who leaked this tape that allowed it to be bootlegged and made a lot of money off this record. I'm not going to say who that is because it's conjecture. And the cover actually features Arthur Googie and not Joey Image. It has Joey Image on the back, but on the front, this is the rare 1980 lineup right before Bobby was thrown out of the band. And it has 3 songs from the set, and it's so cool to hear these songs. It has Horror Business, Teenagers from Mars, Children in Heat, I believe. I would love to hear any of the other recordings from that. Oh, how did this get in here? Ha 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 ha. I don't know why I have this. This is Dig Up Your Bones. So yeah, there's that. It's original. This is actually original. This is not a bootleg. And I'm sure it probably goes for a lot of money. I don't know how much. If anybody knows how much this goes for, I'd be kind of curious. This is something I would sell, actually. I don't mind selling this. So if anybody knows... I don't know why I have. Okay. So yeah, I don't know why I have this. I would not. I would part with this one. I've heard that it goes for, and I believe it's a cool color, right? Oh yeah, it's blue. So that's nice. I mean, that's pretty. Look at that blue. Oh yeah, pretty blue. And it has Dig Up Her Bones and Hate the Living, Love the Dead. Hey, I love those 2 90s albums, but it's a different band, man. It's a different band. Call themselves The Resurrected, them, Dead Kings Rise, whatever. It's not the same. So, next up is a yellow 3 Hits from Hell. And this has extra guitar with Bobby Steele. So this is culled from the MSP sessions in 1980, right? And then like remixed to smithereens. What does this say on it? Yeah, reissue. They don't have the actual labels on the inside. That kind of sucks. But yeah, 3 great tracks. Here is another Evil Live. This Evil Live has Glenn on the cover. So here's the thing. The real deal, there's like 4 or 5 different covers for Evil Live. But if you have a 3-pack with Glenn, if you have this, if you have the one with this one, I believe this one, and then there's a 3rd one, or maybe it's Glenn, Jerry, and Doyle. I'm not sure. Someone correct me. If you have the 3-pack of these Evil Lives, Umberto, answer this question, because Umberto actually owns a 3-pack, which used to retail for, or on the market for $10,000, if I'm not mistaken, right, Umberto? Can you speak to that, buddy? But if you have 3 of these, because Glenn had a bunch of extra sleeves or whatever, so what he did was he put together these 3-packs and he was giving them out like they were candy. He was just handing them out to people whoever held on to those, they're worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, this I did buy. These next two I actually did buy. This is from Record Store Day. This is the Misfits and the Lemonheads Skulls. This was an official release, and it's picture disc vinyl. Just open up Umberto. I don't have it yet. I tried ordering it, and the book never came. They canceled my order because I ran out. But I would love to. By the way, Umberto contributed a lot of pictures and collections and informations, and I believe did some writing as well for Scream With Me, the new Misfits book. I'm dying to check it out. Haven't been able to get a hold of it. It really, really pisses me off. Definitely something I want for my collection, so check that out. Go look for Scream With Me. What's the Umberto? Put the linkage in the comments, man. I'm not gonna look for it now, but Umberto, link that shit in here so people can track down the book. So this is the Lemonheads doing Skulls, and theirs is an acoustic, and this is, guys, we're gonna get to the other stuff in just a moment, by the way. Misfits, Lemonheads, and Misfits, blah, blah, blah. So the two versions of Skulls, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Umberto says the last 3-pack sold for $15,000. 3 7-inches of this for $15,000. Unfucking real. It's at a New York hardcore comic book store. Adam, are you talking about a Evil Eye 3-pack? That's fucking insane. Okay, so there's that. Okay, this next one is really awesome. I loved this. I bought it just because I was like, I just wanted to have it. This I bought in, I think I got it at Generation Records in the city somewhere. Not sure. Just a second. Here we go. Okay. Now, I believe, who knows who Ted Leo is from Ted Leo and the Pharmacist? Oh, the book. The book is at the hardcore. Okay, so the book, Scream With Me, is at the New York City hardcore comic book store. I don't know. Someone link that shit. This, I believe I got it at Generation Records, West Side, New York City. This is a band called TV Casualty. They are a Misfit, one of the million Misfits tribute album bands out there. And this one's fronted by Ted Leo, as far as I know. Ted Leo from The Pharmacist. I don't know. Ted Leo and The Pharmacist. If anybody knows who Ted Leo is, he's a great guy. Great, like, sort of punk rock guy. Oh, why did I think it was in New York? Okay, I'm going to Dobbs Ferry. I'm going to go pick up that book. In any case, yeah, TV Casualty. I believe that is Ted Leo right there, and he's wearing, like, a wig. And, yeah, he sings like Glenn. And, yeah, this was a really cool set. It was, so for $7, you get 6 songs, right? It was, yeah, Ted Leo is on vocals, right? Ted Leo on vocals, Adam Gorin guitar, Brian Sokol guitar, Andy Nelson bass, and Chris Wilson drums. I mean, that's pretty freaking awesome. And it's on red vinyl. Who would have thought Ted Leo singing Misfit songs? It's on solid red vinyl. And yeah, it's just really fun. It's fun to hear Ted Leo, who's a great vocalist, frontman, guitar player, just singing songs. And this is a little insert in the Grand Misfits tradition of putting an insert in your shit. I think that's pretty fucking cool. From Matador Records, actually. So Matador put this out. Matador also put out a lot of Jay Retard, for anybody who knows who Jay Retard is. And if you don't, go look up Jay Retard. Yes, John, that is correct. Abrams is sold out. Whatever is left is in retail stores and Amazon. Not sure a second edition will see the light of day because of the lawsuit. Okay, so I guess I'm taking a trip to that store. That's really sad, Umberto. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Seemed like such a cool book. I really hope that gets all sorted. Here we go. This is a Cough Cool right here. This is not a real Cough Cool. Obviously, this is one of those bootlegs I was talking about that I never bought. It was given to me. But when I met with Manny Martinez, the first drummer, who we're going to talk about in a second because we're going to talk about a new song. We're going to talk about another song from that tape I listened to. You know, Jim, we actually, oh man, it's too bad you live in Florida. I have so many new questions to ask you since we last talked. Whatever. In any case, I had Manny sign it because why the fuck not? You know, I don't know. I was feeling stupid. And yeah, it's just cool to own this. And, you know, who does Glenn thank on the back? Glenn and the band. They thank Marilyn, Clark, and Monty, who are the stars of The Misfits, the movie that this band takes its name from. they thank Rainbow Studios, Rainbow Studio in New York City, where this was recorded. Eddie's Lounge, which is where that show we're going to talk about in a few minutes, where that show took place. Diane and Tom for immoral support. I don't know, maybe Umberto, do you know who Tom is on the back of Cough Cool? Diane is Diane DiPiazza, who fiddled around on bass before Jerry and Glenn met and really the Misfits formed. The Crowd, Spectrum, Brooklyn, I don't know who Spectrum, Freddie. I know who Freddie is. I don't know him, but I know who he is, and I've been trying to track him down for 10 years. He's an interesting character. And lastly, Bukowski. Remember we talked about in that first episode? Go listen to the first episode. Here, I'm actually going to link the first episode right now in the comments, where we talked at great length about Glenn's Bukowski influence. Glenn takes a lot of influence by Bukowski. That's awesome, Jeremy. I also have the bullet. I'm going to flash that in a second. So, yeah, so that's also in the comments. Okay, next one is really, 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 really fun. Jeremy D, post your Misfits vinyl in the comments below. Okay, so this one, okay, actually, I did buy this one, too. This is another one that I did actually buy. And I bought it because I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like purple, and this is Spook City, USA. And I was like, this is so cool, man. Like, what a cool release. And I believe... Oh, yeah, I paid $5... Oh, no. Yeah, look at this. It was originally $5, and it was marked up to $5.99. Banner. So this is Spook City, USA, and Ratfink, and Children in Heat. 3 phenomenal songs. Actually, really, Children in Heat is one of my favorite Misfit songs. But, yeah, just a piece of paper, and it folds out into this cool little poster. And, I mean... That's just so cool, because, I mean, look at it. I don't know if this was... I bet you this was silk screened by hand. It looks like it could be. I'm not a craftsman sort of guy, so what do I know? But it looks like it could have been silk screened, and it's just really neat. And it actually does have an actual label, and it's printed on purple vinyl. Ooh, purple. Purple. Yeah, it's pretty. And I've listened to it, and it's pretty great. I love the song Spook City, USA, too. Really, really fun song. Interesting to note, actually. Let's take a little detour to Spook City, USA. It's kind of a rare Misfits song, and nobody really got to hear it until, I guess, the box set. Well, that's not true. They had heard the Glenn Danzig version. So the Misfits version never got heard until the box set that came out. But originally, the only way you could hear Spook City, USA was on the Who Killed Marilyn 7-inch. Which is a Glenn Danzig solo record. Why did Glenn Danzig do a solo record in the middle of his run with the Misfits as a band, especially when they're doing all these 7-inches? And better question, how did it come to be? Well, we could talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But Who Killed Marilyn, which also was done as a Misfits song as well, and was a canceled release. Both of these tracks were done entirely by Glenn Danzig at one point, and unfortunately, I don't have it to show it to you. So let's just pull that back out for 1 second. Oh no, I lost it. All right, whatever. It's like filibustering, I swear to God. Glenn recorded all the tracks for it. He did the guitar, the bass, and the drums, and they both sound terrible. They're not great. They sound like they're being held together by rubber bands and rubber glue, you know what I mean? It's just like barely holding together. Glenn's drumming is very rudimentary. Although his drumming on that Danzig record, that Death Red record, is pretty good. It's good. It's not bad. It's pretty good. But when he first started drumming, not really that great. Here's just a classic. Oh yeah, but why does it exist? Why do a Glenn Danzig solo record separate from the Misfits? And because I think at that point, at that time with the band, Umberto, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at that point, at that time with the band, Glenn or Jerry and Doyle were they worked for their father at the Pro Edge factory during the day. And Glenn was like, come on, we got to go do band shit. And they were like, no, we're working. They were kind of like disinterested at certain points and times. It's probably around between 80, 81. I think it came out in 80. I think Who Killed Marilyn came out in 80. And Glenn was just like, fuck you guys. I'll put out my own record then. I'm going to put out these songs myself. Because the Misfits, when they would rehearse these songs, they never really much cared for them. Or at least they never really much cared for Spook City USA. So Glenn was like, fuck it, I'm going to put it out myself. He found a backer who we're going to talk about, a very important guy. A guy who, without him, many Misfits. He's a benefactor. He's a mysterious benefactor, an incredibly important figure in Misfits lore. His name is George Germain, and more about him in a minute. But he helped Glenn put out that Spook City USA, Who Killed Marilyn 7-inch. Reverse that. So next is Famous Monsters of Filmland, right? This is just a bunch of tracks from the fourth... Well, this is weird. Okay, so this is called 4 Hits from Hell. Sorry. This is called 4 Hits from Hell. This is called 4 Hits from Hell. And yes, George Germain, that's right, Umberto. And it says, from the forthcoming album, Lucifer's Penis Rising. That's weird. And it's got some songs, and it's limited edition. There's only 500 copies of this. I don't know if that's really true. This is probably a repressing of the original, which is only 500 copies, which is probably worth a lot of money if you have one of the originals of this. And this is from Scatter Brainchild Records, ripping off Glenn. Plan 666. Everybody trying to get a piece of the band. For a band that only had 56 original songs, there are a lot of boots. And here's one of my favorite records of the 7 inches. I love everything about this. Just the layout. It's just beautiful, man. Horror Business. This is the second back. There was a different backing originally, and Bobby Steele had like 500 uncut sleeves of that, and he would sell them, and that's how he sustained himself for a long time. I know in 1990, the original Horror Business sleeve went for $300. Umberto, how much does a original Horror Business sleeve go for today? So this is the original is on black vinyl, right? But the 25 were pressed up in yellow. If you have a yellow... Wait, am I reversing that? They're all in yellow and a black. Okay, so I think they're... One of the two colors, it's either yellow or black. Maybe it's a black. If you have a black... Someone correct me. If you have a black Horror Business, there's only 25 of them. And they're super rare. Henry Rollins paid $5,000 for a black Horror Business. Yeah, that's right, because the yellow ones are more common. And this was written by my personal good friend, who just a wonderful friend of mine who I met through this documentary. Dave Street wrote the foreword to this, because they wanted to try and, make everything sound. And it's so cool that the bootlegger recreated this insert. On February 28th, 1979, the Misfits and a mobile recording unit entered an abandoned haunted house in northern New Jersey. They recorded and left. While mixing the tapes back at a New York City, NYC studio, strange voices and noises were heard in the background. Note especially Teenagers from Mars. In reality, that was probably the recording engineer. No explanation of these sounds could be given by the band or the recording crew. The following tracks on this record are a result of that eerie session from Dave Street, and his name is Street Meat. Dave and I met through this documentary. We became friends. He's acted for me in a bunch of stuff. I love that guy so much. You can catch him in They're Made Out of Meat. I'm going to put that link in the comments. We did this movie called They're Made Out of Meat, and he plays a strange alien. He's the guy wearing the leopard. It's not a very good short, but I still love it because we made it with a lot of heart. Here's Dave Street. You can see him right there in my movie from a long time ago. Rollins... Wait, what? Wait, Umberto, he bought it from you? Wow. Wow. That's fucking crazy. Okay, so Rollins paid $15,000 for the Black Horror Business. It was Umberto's old copy, and it was sold by someone in Florida, and we know who that... Okay, now I remember where I got that information from, and I thought it was $5,000. It was $15,000. It was from a very well-known sort of collector, hoarder, whatever you want to call him. I'm not going to say his name. he's down in Florida. He's pissed off a lot of people in the Misfits community. People know to stay away from him because he does a lot of counterfeiting. No, Aaron in Florida? Oh, it was not AK. I thought it was AK. Okay, never mind. All right, somebody else. Whatever. It was okay. So AK Umberto AK claims that he sold Henry Rollins a black whore business as well for $5,000. So I don't know. Oh wait, no, Aaron. I don't know how you're making that comment, Umberto. What are you saying? Are you saying it was AK? In any case, this guy AK, he was actually there when Chud and Graves walked off that final show, and Joey Image jumped in to play drums for Jerry and Doyle. Imagine that, Jerry Doyle and Joey Image. Yes, Aaron is AK. Yeah, so AK, because I had a conversation with him, and I remember him telling me, but I remember him saying it was $5,000, not $15,000. AK has some rare shit. As a matter of fact, AK, for those of you out there seeking, AK has a reel of 8mm film, soundless 8mm film. Nobody knows what's on it. It is Misfits related, probably when Doyle was in the band, and it's never been digitized. I was on a quest to get it digitized for some time. It never happened. He was willing to trade me digitization for one of those t-shirts I showed you earlier, and I refused to do it because I didn't know what was on it, and I just didn't make any sense. Another record from one of my favorite periods, besides that horror business, which is so great, is the Night of the Living Dead. Look at that back cover, is so fucking sweet. It's just so great. And I love the original Misfits. I mean, I love the later one, the later, using the later letters from Famous Monsters of Finland, but the original Misfits logo, which was from a Cough Cool era promo poster, and then it just got used to death. I just think it's so much cooler. I don't know what it is. That's just awesome. And yeah. So yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Great fucking song. What's on Night of the Living Dead? This was recorded at the Song Shop, New York City. And it was produced by Dee Solanke and the Misfits. Dee Solanke, aka Danny Solanke, was I believe the guitar player for another band at that time called The Mad. The Mad, along with the Stimulators and the Bad Brains, used to play the Max's Kansas City with the Misfits, and they were in that first wave of hardcore before the first wave of bands that would really give birth to what eventually became hardcore. We talked about this. Refer to the last episode of this broadcast that we did last week, where I talked in depthly about the difference between new wave, hardcore, and punk. And so Dee Solanke was a part of that, and he recorded this, and I still have yet to interview him, but yeah, he recorded this, and Bobby has some good commentary about mixing and recording Night of the Living Dead and Horror Business, because they were interesting sessions. A lot of bleed through. Another favorite cover, and if you notice, these are the pumpkins that Glenn and Jerry had manufactured really big for the reunion shows. Horror. This is Halloween and Halloween 2. This is called from the MSP sessions. That was going to be something along the lines of 12 Hits from Hell. And on the back are the lyrics to Halloween 2. Formula uteris ectasis mortem et communicarum strigus et fictus lupus creende metamorphosis lycanthropy posunt in quam. And interesting side note about this, and this actually came with an insert, even though it's also a bootleg piece of shit. But look at that insert, man! Look how cool. What Glenn was so smart to do this sort of shit. You know, I mean, he added so much. He added so much to this band just by doing this cool visual shit. No other bands were doing such cool visual shit back in the day. I mean, I could talk endlessly for hours about this stuff as the Misfits nerd. So here, Glenn writes the lyrics to Halloween, and it says, copyright the Misfits and Hellbent Music. Hellbent Music was Glenn's publishing, I believe. And here's the band, and you can tell it's super bootleg because the picture is really blurry and out of focus, and I believe it's a lot clearer and less blown out on Jerry's face if you have like a real version. So quick side note about Halloween 2. As a young 15-year-old lad trying to figure out who this band Misfits are, I looked up the lyrics to Halloween 2, and it's like an incantation in very very shitty Latin that Glenn had cobbled together about transforming back into a werewolf, something like that, or transforming into a werewolf. And in my 15-year-old brain, I love telling this story. In my 15-year-old brain, I was like, okay, so this band and all their members, they become werewolves. They become werewolves. Every time they get a new member into the band, they have to initiate them. They initiate them by turning them into werewolves, and they're all werewolves. I don't know what made me think of that. And so, Mr. Jim, I thought for a long time you were a werewolf. I think I told you that story when I first met you. But yeah, it's just like the things that we because it's just like this band is mysterious. It's like that's what we love so much about the band. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. And then here we have probably one of the best besides Horror Business, Bullet. Mr. Jim plays on Bullet. Mr. Jim plays on all the Static Age. And Jim, I'm really gonna lay it on thick here for a minute. The thing that makes Jim's playing so fantastic is that, like, and again, I'm not a drummer, so I'm like, I talked about this in that first episode, but Jim's just like, it seems when you're listening, he's always like riding that hi-hat. He's just going, and he's finding every moment that he can, kind of like in a more punky version of like Keith Moon. He's finding any moment he can to do a drum fill. So it's just like, like, and every song has, even though the drumming patterns are different or whatever, the different beats or whatever, but they all share this theme of like, I'm gonna hit the hi-hat at some point, and I'm gonna do some I'm gonna do these really really fast drum fills. And when people play those songs, nobody plays the beats like Mr. Jim did. They just don't. Everybody does like straight up, 4/4 blast beats, whatever you want to call it, just that fucking meat and potatoes. But there's none of the nuance that Jim does on those Static Age recordings that makes it so great. And obviously, everybody knows this cover. It's iconic. All the art for this documentary that I'm trying to scrape and pull together is, I'm like, well, I'm never going to be able to use the Crimson Ghost, right? But they don't. There's no monopoly on JFK with the Devilhawk. So there you go. And here is the band. And this is the first. So I'm not sure if the first pressing. Umberto, remind me if you recall. Either the first press. No, yeah. Okay, so this is actually the first pressing. Second pressing, when they repressed Static Age, they put Better Dead on Red on the back. So it was Better Dead on Red. And I forget what that saying was in reference to. And this photo, we would later learn during the reunion shows, Glenn had Jerry steal this photo from a library. So he'd be like, he pressured Jerry to go to a library somewhere in New Jersey in Lodi, and he snatched it up, man. He snatched up the photo. And Glenn designed this himself. It's like, how do you get that Xerox quality? What you do is you take up, much like we're going to talk about in a minute with tapes and tape hiss of the 80s. You take a picture and you Xerox it. Then you take that Xerox and you Xerox it again. And then you take that Xerox and you Xerox it again and again and again and again and again. And it kind of, and obviously this is like an overblown sort of thing, but it kind of get this weird sort of aesthetic when you do that. And yeah, it's just really cool, man. And oh god, I just love everything about this. And I'm getting hoarse just talking about it. This was engineered by Dave Keelis, and it was distributed by Ork. Terry Ork was a producer, manager. Right, thank you, John. It was an anti-communist saying back in the McCarthy Red Scare era, and then it got adopted for, JFK getting his head blown off, Better Dead on Red. Or Better Dead Than Red, right. Better Dead Than Red, Better Dead on Red. And then the other thing, too, is it comes with this, oh my god, this beautiful lyric sheet. Gorgeous, gorgeous lyric sheet. With JFK getting his head blown off, and Glenn's typed out the lyrics. And the lyrics to Bullet started off as a poem in 1973. So this was originally a poem. Now, here's something that we need to talk about, and this is something that really blows my mind about the Misfits as a band. Let me ask you a question. How many Misfit songs have rhyming lyrics? Honestly, can anybody answer that question? How many Misfit songs have rhyming lyrics? I don't think a single one. So when Glenn's writing songs, he doesn't like try to rhyme any of his lyrics. He writes these incredibly catchy songs without trying to rhyme shit. So he's doing these like, feels like a Bukowski poem. As I said, he thanked Bukowski on the thing, right? President's bullet-ridden body in the street. Ride, Johnny, ride. Kennedy's shattered head hits concrete. And look at the way he's done the formatting. It's like a poem. It's like a deconstructed poem that he's set to music. Texas is an outrage when your husband is dead. Texas is an outrage when they pick up his head. Texas is the reason that the president is dead. Arise, Jackie O, Jonathan O, Kennedy. Arise and be shot down. Dirt's gonna be your dessert. It's like he's doing this like beat comic poetry, man. There's no rhyming in here, you know? And it's got to be really hard to write a catchy song without rhyming shit, you know? So that's what I find so interesting about this stuff. It's like he's doing beat poetry that's styled like Bukowski, and he's not rhyming any of his shit. It's like, if I'm going to try and write a song, I'm going to try and rhyme everything. I'm going to be like, you know, I have a red ball, and I went to the wall, and I'm a know-it-all. And meanwhile, motherfucking Glenn Danzig's like, president's bullet-ridden body in the street. Ride, Johnny, ride. Kennedy's shattered head is concrete. Ride, Johnny, ride. There's Johnny's left floundering. So he's finding a way to like not only sing this shit, but he's singing shit that's not rhyming. It blows my mind. I mean, I know it's not like, look, I'm not a musician. What the fuck do I know? But like, I know it's not like, what's it called? It's not a requirement to write a song that fucking rhymes. But, you know, if you're gonna write a song, you know, and try to make it catchy, if you're trying to break into something, maybe you are. Look at all the Ramones songs. A lot of the Ramones songs rhyme. None of Glenn's songs rhyme. Not a one. I'm trying to think. I'm literally trying to think. I don't think any of Glenn's songs rhyme. Someone prove me wrong. Maybe you can. I don't think any of his songs rhyme. It's a testament to his genius. Okay. So, with that being said, let's talk now about something else. So here's what happens. The band breaks up, right? 1983. They're dead. Hey, what's going on, Steve? I have not, you actually have some pictures of George Germain. Steve has some pictures of George Germain, that he has shown me, and he also has, George Germain's, guitar, which is pretty cool. But Steve can speak more to that than I. I just was privileged enough to get to see it. What was I just talking about? Okay, so the band breaks up, right? And all of a sudden, they don't exist anymore. But you know what still exists? All of the 7 inches. All of these records